They're gathering up here for the 2014 Mississippi Youth Football Association fall meeting at the Cameron Center in Laurel, Mississippi. Hey, how y'all doing?
How they looking this year?
All right.
How they looking this year? Who? Us? We ain't got.
What are you doing, Lester? How you doing? What you know, big guy? Okay. Hey, Tom. Look at my son. Did you pick up on that email when I sent you about considering 4 teams qualifying in each district for the playoffs?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
I missed that.
Yeah.
You missed it?
Yeah.
I missed that part. I saw the north south.
They wouldn't have it extra week.
Well, I've already agreed to doing not a North and South, an American National.
Right.
You know, but that wasn't something that come from that meeting. That's something we've been talking about a long time.
I know. Yeah.
We think it'll simplify scheduling. I'm not sure, but I think it will.
Right.
And then maybe it'll even build some camaraderie.
Right. You're loving and
We'll see.
Conspired on. I ain't got 2 sets of books, do I?
That book's about 4 years old.
One from 2013, one from 2014.
No, my book, they had my book that said 2000. This man haven't had my book since 2000.
Support what you decide.
What?
We're going to have another meeting in about 3 weeks, 1 week. I want everybody dressed like they spring.
Yeah, that was, yeah. Now that's how we represent Mississippi.
No, he's a pastor, so I'm sure he just got to
All right, Bowers. Carthage. Okay. Clara. Collins. Columbia. Crystal Springs. Dixie. Charles. Gulf Coast. Hattiesburg. Hazelhurst. Heidelberg. Jackson County. I think we pretty much take them off here. Jackson County.
Jackson County's here. They're not Jackson County
Okay. Kemper County.
anymore. No, Jackson County is here, but they're not Jackson County anymore. They're, what do we got?
Gulf Coast?
Gulf Coast.
I didn't know they were one Jackson County.
Y'all never been Jackson County?
No, they played with us for 1 season, part of the season.
Okay, that's right. You're right.
Laurel. Lauderdale. Boys and girls not here. Lake. All right. Leachville.
Yeah.
Lexington.
Yeah.
Saw Brother Willie.
What's with the
Louisville.
What's with
Lumberton.
the new shirts? Oh, them the commissioners. What mine?
North.
Meridian.
Meridian. Mount Olive. Monticello. North Forest. Newton. Newton County. Neshoba. Oak Grove. Pelahatchie. Perry County. Kettle. Philadelphia. Poplarville,
Johnny says Philadelphia is on the water.
Pisco, Picayune, PRC, Puckett, Prentice, Purvis, Quitman, Raleigh, Richmond, Rugglestown. Yeah, I met them already. Sand Hill, Scott Central,
With a Kemper County hat on, Charles.
Sacred Heart, Sebastopol, Seminary, Stone County, Stringer, okay, yeah. Simpson, saw Ken. Sumrall, here. Taylorsville, saw him. Waynesboro. Is there anybody I did not call?
Miles.
I got I'm sorry. I got to check my email. All right,
You guys come here that we didn't call.
is there anyone here that we didn't call? Did we miss somebody? Okay.
And all that. But over the course of the summer, I met several times with several individual leagues and a couple of times with some groups of leagues to discuss some things that we needed to kind of get a handle on. And we kind of agreed to some stuff that would kind of fix some, I hate to say problems because the system we have is a really good, inclusive system. The problem with it is a few people have perverted it. We left a couple of loopholes out there, and there's always somebody for some reason that can't have it. They have to pervert it. So, the number one thing, we've all got an issue that we'd like to deal with, or a problem with, or a different way we'd like to do this. But the number one thing that this league has to have, and any league, is we have to have credibility in our teams. Our teams, we have to be, if I go down to play Morton and carry my kids down there, I need to have a relatively good assurance that when I get to Morton, those kids are the same kids that I'm bringing. And everybody in this room needs the same thing. So, like I said, honestly, I think we got the greatest system we could have that includes everything, man. It allows you to grab a kid right at the last minute and all that. Unfortunately, enough people have perverted it. Now we've got to take a tougher stance and do things a little bit different. So that's the reason we're coming a little bit early. So we can go through some of those changes and some of the stuff we've agreed to do and get everybody sort of on page, because it kind of will affect some of your way you register and some of that kind of stuff and when you do some things. And we're going to get in depth with that here in a minute. And don't worry about it if you don't get everything down, because it'll be two places. JL will have it on the internet, and hopefully Lester can hold up and get it typed up and get a personal email to everybody with so that we know that everybody has this information going in. Because, part of the unfortunate thing about doing these kind of things is you have to just say, hey, you know what, we're all going to do it. Until somewhere around the last of August, but we're going to attempt to have a National American League. Some call it North-South, whatever. Hopefully we're simplifying our scheduling a little bit. Hopefully we're building a little more competition. I don't know, like I said, I don't want to get deep into it other than that's that's what we're going to try to do. Still have divisions and stuff like that. We just have set divisions that'll play each other and work their way on into the Super Bowl. And like I said, until we know exactly what the divisions look like and everything, I don't want to get into, I'm in the American division, I'm in the National division, whatever. But that is the kind of plan. The next thing, like I said at the opening of the meeting, goes to the integrity of our league. It's an issue that have to get fixed. And the bad thing about it is we got a great system. We just allowed a few people to pervert the darn thing. So we got to fix that because, like I said, it goes back to the whole integrity of the league. You need to feel secure. If I bring my team to you, or you bring your team to me, we need to feel secure that we're playing the right kids, the same kids that got weighed. You know, I'm sure there's been problems, and I'm sure that, you know, that there's probably not, I don't think it's a huge problem, but I do think it happens from time to time, and once is too much. And so we're going to have to take some pretty strong deals to get it fixed. So here's what we're going to do. This year, there will be 2 weigh-ins on the same date. In the same week. It'll be 1 weigh-in 1 week, 1 weigh-in the next week. Now, these weigh-ins will be at probably 8 different locations, but there will be a vice commissioner that conducts every one of these weigh-ins. He will be totally in charge. No vice commissioner will weigh his home team. Some of these guys are presidents, some of them are coaches, some of them don't do anything anymore but vice commissioner. But they won't be allowed to weigh anybody on their home team. The 2 weigh-ins will be the 2 weeks prior to the first game. There will not be a late weigh-in. You know, we allow these kids to weigh in on opening day and some of those things because, man, we just didn't want to lose a kid. We just, you know, wanted that kid that signed up late. Some of the small leagues needed them. And you know what? Some of the kids needed the league. And it was a good thing. Unfortunately, it just been perverted. People holding kids out, you know, so they don't weigh more than, so they lose weight. It's so much easier for them to slip a bad kid in there. It just opened up a lot of doors that unfortunately people took advantage of. And it's sad. You just stop and think about what we do.
That way you won't be making kids sleep in the attic.
That's right. I won't be making kids sleep in the attic with me.
Yeah, give me the chair, move. Thank you.
So the big thing to remember is
Thank you.
the 2 weeks prior to opening day. Another thing that's happened, and it wasn't done in order to create an unfair advantage or whatever, but it did create something. I.e., Johnny would have a weigh-in on his first weigh-in on August the 15th. Well, this guy may have his on the 1st of September. And so, you know, it did create one. That's the reason why we're going to do those 2 weekends. That gives you 2 opportunities to get
August the 30th and September the 6th.
They will be in different places in your areas. They'll be in 2 different places. They're going to both be at the same place. There'll be one over here and one over here the following week, so that they're spread around. I've asked the vice commissioners to also look at, with the exception of, like there's one at the Cab at Scuba every year. That's been a tradition for a lot of years, and actually Scuba does. They feed them and they get to watch a ball game and stuff like that. With the exception of that, where we're doing the individual ones out there, that we rotate where we do it, i.e., maybe Charles does one in Philadelphia this time, and the next one he does over in, yeah, you know, so that they kind of have a rotating basis and kind of so that they're not vice commission orientated, you know. Well, that guy has it at his house every time, you know. Donnie does that.
I'm fine with the system. The only thing I'm thinking about is you actually look at those dates and you actually have a lot of teams that aren't going to be able to do jerseys till after they do weigh-in. September 6th is going to be pushing a week till the season starts for you to get in and get jerseys and numbers and stuff. Absolutely. It's going to be a week. It's going to be a week. I think that's something to look at.
Absolutely, we can, and it's not, and you know what, that date is not the big thing. The big thing is that everybody's doing the same day. If we want to go the 30th and a week before that, if that's better, Johnny made the point where, what if we have a lot of kids that have to change jerseys or something? That's going to be a week before opening day. I don't have a problem with it. Does anybody know what the week before the 30th is? 23rd.
But, start to think about this now. If you wait until that last 6, you still got that problem somewhere. They may have to buy a jersey. If a kid's that close, you know, he's going to be pushing it anyway.
Well, but he'll still have 2 weeks to get the jersey as opposed to 5 days.
Right, but we have never said that first game was a problem if the kid didn't have the jersey.
No, absolutely not.
You know, we work with it. If you don't have your jersey, turn the thing
Just
inside
something to
out.
think about. I mean, like I say, I'm fine with it either way, because, I mean, you just have to make it work.
Yeah, there's an issue either way. One way, hey, you're cutting 1 week off and still getting kids in. The other way, well, you're cutting a few days if you have 5 kids that has to change jersey. You know, you're cutting a week. Now, opening day never really counts. I mean, I don't say it that way. It does count. It's a big game for everybody. But it don't count towards you making playoffs or anything like that. And we've never made a big deal out of it. If people had on the practice jerseys out there that open day over the other like that one. Would y'all rather the 6th or the 23rd? There's issues with both, actually. I mean, you can.
No, you won't make it work. It won't be a problem with playing that first game. It's the way it is. You know,
Long as it's not going to be a.
Right. It's never been a problem. You know, I've always told everybody.
That assures us of those kids. And that'll also stop all of the phone calls that I know if we back it up, we still have 2 weeks, maybe we're going to be calling. Man, I know what was said, but you know what? Johnny just got here. He's from Arizona. Then I find out little Johnny lives next door and has 15 years.
Tommy.
But everybody agreed to understand what the premise of what we're doing is and why we're doing it.
Tom, you got a question up here?
Who's that? Yeah.
Okay, now, we no longer gonna do that first week in September
The first week in September, wasn't it?
for a weigh-in.
Yes, we said that we were going to do the 30th and the 6th. Yeah. That's the 2 weekends that there'll be weigh-ins everywhere.
The 30th and the 6th, or the
And this
7th.
is all coming to you. No, bust your brain. Yeah, we're going to send it out in email form. Yes, sir.
Not sure how many people have it, but those are typically 2 strong weekends for jamborees. So, you know, like I know if you have more of those weekends.
There's gonna be problems, but the problem that we gotta solve is much bigger than those problems. We can carry the kids to the jamboree and get them weighed in.
There you go.
I've done this for 100 years, and I can tell you what, I can weigh any league in here. If you'll have them lined up, and you'll have the paperwork, and you'll have everything that, like it's supposed to be, I can weigh that team in, and I can weigh a big league in 30 minutes or less. If you have your paperwork, if you're not, you know, if I'm not having to ask little Johnny what his name is 9 times. You have everything right, you can whip it right through. And yeah, I do understand that. That is Jamboree weekends, but there's not a lot of other weekends to do it. So let's work our Jamborees.
What you said would be one, because how about teams in one place?
Right.
Tom.
Question.
I'm sorry, hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody on this list, we're gonna try to update our contact list. We got a lot of something else we need to take out. Everybody else.
Absolutely. I don't think any of you guys, what he's saying is, if they're going to play the Jamboree at 3, and they call you, you have your way in at noon, and they say, hey, we're playing the 3 at the Jamboree, and we weigh in at 10, I would assume we will make all of we will do what we can do to accommodate those kind of things.
No, but I think everybody sends out an email saying they don't have a Jamboree, so if you know you got some scheduled, you got first choice of contacting that vice commission and get you early time.
Yeah. Next part about, yes, sir.
I got one question. I'll put myself out there for instance. This year, I'm lined up for Tony's Jamboree on the 6th. I'm not in his district. Can I wait his Jamboree?
Absolutely.
Okay. That'll work.
Yeah, you can weigh in a Jamboree at your district. What we said, i.e. you, Michael Brown, is actually, he's not involved in the league, but he is actually from Poplarville. So, Michael Brown won't touch your kids. I won't touch Summerall's kids, and there's the president of Summerall. I won't touch Summerall's kids. Johnny won't touch Whitman's kids, Lester won't touch mine, he won't touch Kemper. I don't know who you won't touch. You will touch anybody. I can look at you and tell
But what I'm asking is, it doesn't matter if you
No,
go to your district.
no. I mean, that would be like, Brother Willie and Billy's usually in the same area, sometimes in the same district, sometimes they're not. Could weigh there, or if someone wants to go up there, they can weigh there.
Okay. No problem.
Okay, here's the next thing. This is the thing as presidents.
Did you
Yes,
get
ma'am.
an email from me?
So we don't have designated areas for waiting?
Yes, ma'am.
So how are people gonna be winning a Jamboree if they're not designated areas?
There's going to be designated.
Or how they gonna win a
I
Jamboree?
didn't have to go on
Well,
this.
what he was saying was, if you're playing at his Jamboree,
But that's still not designated. Because you've already got set designated areas to weigh in, like you said 8 different places. If they're already set up, how are they winning a Jamboree? You said you have 8 designated places to weigh in 2 weeks.